This is ABC7 News at 6. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. Thank you for joining us. A former Sarasota County Sheriff's deputy accused of attempted murder is back in court today.
A motion to compel hearing took place regarding some of Frankie Bybee's electronic devices. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live now from the Sarasota County Courthouse with more. Rick?
Yeah, Haley and Scott, things wrapped up here about an hour ago. 3 iPhones and 1 iPad were the hot topic of conversation here. These are devices that allegedly belong to Frankie Bybee. There's a strong push being made to get the passwords and PIN numbers for the devices as part of the investigation. Bybee is facing 20 felony charges, including attempted murder. He became friends with an elderly woman and allegedly tried to kill her and steal her money. This hearing will certainly continue in the coming weeks. A date for the hearing has yet to be set. That's the latest from here. Reporting live from Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams. Back to you.
All right, Rick, thank you. A Sarasota man is sentenced to 30 years in prison after pleading guilty to child pornography charges. Sarasota County Sheriff's Office says 36-year-old Johnny Phillips started an online relationship with a 16-year-old girl in California. He's charged with 50 counts of possession of child porn, use of a computer to solicit a child for sex act, and transmitting harmful material to a child. He pleaded guilty this morning. The judge also gave Phillips 10 years of probation and lifetime designation as a sexual predator. A Bradenton police lieutenant is at home recuperating after he was violently attacked at a convenience store. Police say Lieutenant William Weldon arrived at a reported residential burglary. He noticed the front glass door of a closed jewelry store was shattered and confronted the suspect at gunpoint. Police say that man began to resist and used his hands to gouge at Weldon's eyes while also trying to grab his gun. Lieutenant Weldon was able to break free after a minute of struggling and ordered the suspect to the ground. Weldon is now recovering from face and eye injuries. The suspect is identified as Isaac Dubon and is being held now on $12,000 bond.
A bad batch of heroin laced with what's believed to be fentanyl has caused 3 more overdoses in the city of Sarasota in just the last 24 hours. 9 people have since overdosed since the weekend. 4 of them have died. Police say fentanyl is much more potent and more lethal than heroin. It's also harder to reverse. It's taking several doses of Narcan, a drug used to reverse an overdose, to bring the user back if it's not already too late. Sarasota EMS has administered 24 doses of Narcan in just the last 3 days.
A normal dose for an EMS service is between 0.5 and 2 milligrams. What we're seeing now is the necessity to give 2, 3, even 4 doses of a full 2 milligrams. So obviously that's increasing the number of doses we give, but you're also seeing the significance of the strength of the drugs that people are taking.
The number of overdoses the county has seen this year is significantly higher than last year. EMS has already seen 111 overdoses to date this year. There was a total of 280 last year.
Time now to get a check on our weather today. Hot and steamy, summer-like on the Suncoast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
No records today, but still warm temperatures. Highs in the upper 80s to low 90s east of the interstate. There are some showers to the north of us, cooling things down across Cedar Key, stretching off toward Daytona Beach. It's been a cloudy, wet day there with some heavy storms at times and even more offshore, moving onshore. This is all going to stay to our north. It's a frontal boundary, which is for the most part stationary. It will start to move back northward as a warm front, but you can see some heavy weather out there. Storm tracker indicating some small hail even with some of these cells as they make their way off generally to the east. Temperatures where it's raining, it's cooled down. Orlando 75, but still pretty nice right along the immediate beaches. 78 at Anna Maria right now, Venice at 81, 80 in Inglewood, but notice Arcadia at 88 degrees, 90 at Lake Placid, and a little bit cooler now in Wauchula. The winds continue to be out of the south, and that is bringing our humidity values up. We'll see another breezy, warm day tomorrow, but rain is in the forecast. We'll have the details on that coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. I-75 near Northport back open after a deadly crash that blocked the highway for about 7 hours earlier today. Troopers are investigating that fiery crash. According to FHP, a semi-truck delivering ice cream was behind a semi hauling beer early this morning. The ice cream truck driver rear-ended the trailer of the other truck. That ice cream truck then burst into flames, which destroyed the cab and trailer and killed the driver. That multi-vehicle crash also caused a ripple effect.
We have one other minor crash where a vehicle drove past the scene and was damaged by the debris that was left within the roadway. Fortunately, there were no injuries in that traffic crash.
The driver of the ice cream truck, 27-year-old Matthew Simon of Riverview, died at the scene. The driver of the other truck, Fernando Irizarry Rivera, has minor injuries.
The slogan, "Reopen Beach Road," has become extremely popular among Siesta Key residents.
Now the issue is set to go before a judge who could confirm the future of that very road. ABC7's Bobeth Yates is here with more. Bobeth?
Yes, the first hearing on the Beach Road battle is finally here. And while this isn't the actual case against the county, what the judge does tomorrow could make or break the entire case.
They do not want this case heard on its merits because they stand no chance of winning if it is.
For the past year, Mike Cosentino has spearheaded the Reopen Beach Road campaign with the belief that Sarasota County violated its comprehensive plan when it vacated this roadway and turned the property over to area residents.
This is an attempt to reduce public access for private profits.
When looking at the county map, Beach Road is partially covered with sand, the results of weather and the county no longer maintaining the roadway. The map also shows that on the left side of Beach Road are privately owned lots that are now underwater or are no longer billable. That fact is what many say is the driving factor in this case.
And this public right-of-way goes away and makes this their private property. They need it to be their private property to build condos, privatize the beach, and kick everybody off the beach.
But one property owner says that's not the case.
The public's just scared, and they're only scared because they've just been misinformed on the facts of the matter.
Michael Holderness owns Siesta Key Beachside Villas, and he says Beach Road was abandoned 23 years ago. At that time, the current homeowners gave the county the 50-foot easement for the road and have allowed people to use their private land to access the beach. That easement has prevented many developments because where it is currently placed, it splits many properties in half.
By giving the public an easement across the beach, that actually takes away those owners' rights from building on their beach lots. Because remember, that beach is privately owned.
But even though the county has voted to return the road easement to homeowners, Holderness says they are committed to the previous agreement to allow public access.
They went from a closed road that you legally can't use to a perpetual easement forever that the public can use for even walking dogs and slow-moving electric vehicles for the elderly or handicapped.
Still, Cosentino says that's not enough.
Easement across somebody's private property is vastly inferior to a public right-of-way.
Again, Wednesday, a judge will hear from those on both sides on what information will be allowed to be heard in the case against the county. Back to you.
Thank you, Bobeth.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, details on a proposed constitutional amendment that would require state officials to wait longer before becoming lobbyists.
And Florida is one step closer to requiring drug testing for welfare recipients, why some would have to pay for the drug tests themselves.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on MySuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at MySuncoast.com/dining.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing. But sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that, and with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
There's a whole new way to bank at Achieva Credit Union with Achieva Checking Plus. Get new unique features like full ID theft protection and online shopping rewards. Plus, it's an interest-bearing account, so you have a little extra for what really matters. Achieva Checking Plus isn't just an account for your money, it's for your life, including cell phone insurance. And that's good to know. Discover the plus at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Florida House of Representatives has approved a proposed amendment that would create longer waiting periods for lawmakers and elected officials who want to become lobbyists. Right now, state officials are barred from lobbying the legislature or their former agencies for 2 years after leaving office. This proposed constitutional amendment would prevent them from lobbying any state agencies or bodies for 6 years after leaving office.
My support for it is not based on any belief that any of the former colleagues that I served with who ended up becoming lobbyists did anything wrong. It's not a question of addressing a scandal. It's rather leading in the effort to create better public confidence.
The House voting 108-4 to approve this proposal, which still needs approval from the Senate, and then it would go before voters.
A House panel has advanced a bill requiring Florida welfare applicants with prior drug-related convictions to submit to a mandatory drug test. The measure would also require applicants suspected of being on drugs to pay for the test before they can receive cash assistance from the government. Applicants who pass the test are reimbursed for the cost, but those who don't would lose benefits for a year. A similar law in 2011 requiring drug screenings for all welfare applicants was declared unconstitutional by a U.S. Supreme Court justice. Elementary students in Florida would have recess every day under a new bill approved by the Florida Senate. The Senate unanimously voted for the bill requiring elementary schools to set aside 20 minutes each day for free play recess. It's unclear if the legislation will make it to the desk of Governor Rick Scott because the House is moving a different bill. That version would allow school districts to offer recess as part of physical education classes, but that legislation does not mandate the sessions every day.
Sounds like they're on two different pages right there.
A little different as to how it would work into the school day. Yeah.
We're going to find out when your chance for some rain may happen right after this.
Now's the perfect time to create a custom system with California Closets. During our Door and Drawer event, save up to $500 on beautiful doors and drawers for any room. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
I'm Alan Cohn. Defending historically black colleges and universities, the White House sends mixed messages on the future of these schools. We'll explain.
Tonight on ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
The Sarasota Film Festival is March 31st through April 9th, featuring independent films from around the world, panels, parties, and conversations with stars, all happening in downtown Sarasota.
You don't want to miss it, so get your festival guide and choose the films and events you want to attend. Buy your tickets online, by phone, or at the Hollywood 20 box office. They go fast, so get them now.
So join us to see and be seen.
So many times we underestimate the human spirit's drive to recover. We often see people surpass what any of us might have expected initially. The Rehabilitation Pavilion at Sarasota Memorial is the top of the line. It allows us to really bring the patient's recovery to the next level.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
Come into a California Closet showroom to experience our quality materials and construction and collaborate with our designers to create the perfect custom solution for any room. Go to CaliforniaClosets.com to request a free design consultation and locate the showroom nearest to you.
Some parts of Florida getting a lot of rain at this hour, huh?
Yeah, yesterday Tallahassee, the panhandle of Florida, and now north central Florida near Citrus County, some severe weather moving through there. That front is not going to have an impact on our weather, but another one behind it will. Here's what's going on as far as we're concerned. The Van Wezel webcam showing a hazy, lazy, crazy day, what it seems like a summer. You can see it was so windy that they brought a lot of those parasailers in to the Sarasota Bay Area. That's what happens sometimes when the seas are a little too rough. You saw a lot of them going on by, and this is the air quality index, which shows that the particulate matter rather high. It's at 59. It's in the moderate category. It's not a big issue quite yet, and I don't think it will be as a result of the breezy conditions tomorrow. It kind of mixes the atmosphere a little bit, and we do have the weather headlines reading like this: a warm Wednesday ahead, and then some rain early, and then Friday morning it looks like it will be over by Friday morning. It'll be basically Thursday morning. And as far as the fire danger is concerned, we have a high fire risk, especially on Friday. That rain will move through, it'll dry out quickly, and these numbers will only get higher. And with the low humidity around on Friday and Saturday, we can expect the dangerous conditions for brush fires right through the weekend. Now, the satellite and radar imagery showing that rough weather now moving onshore from Orlando, Daytona Beach, all the way over into Cedar Key right now. And some of these cells have been producing a Doppler-indicated tornado, and it continues to push off toward the east. This cell in particular has been rather intense right now, producing some lightning strikes along with some rotation with this particular cell, and one behind it too. And all that kind of staying well to the north and moving off to the east. Right now here, 81 degrees at the Sarasota Braden Airport. Dew point is at 71. Winds are out of the south. It's been windy today. It'll stay breezy again tomorrow, and the pressure is starting to rise slightly. The high today, no record breaking, but still well above average. 84 the normal high, 79 and the record 90. And that was set a long time ago as, no, not really. Today, no rainfall to report. The monthly total now, we need some rain. We desperately need it for the year, too. We're over 6 inches below average. We'll get some out of this, maybe a quarter inch, half inch in some areas. There's a chance, too, we could see some thunderstorm activity, and that happens Thursday morning, just around sunrise or slightly before it. And it should be out of here by midday on Thursday. Tomorrow looks good. We'll have sunshine, breezy, and warm conditions. Same old story as far as that goes. High temperatures approaching near 90 degrees well inland. That wind will stay out of the south throughout the day, and that means the risk of rip currents is still there. Rip current advisory is in effect right now for coastal waters, and I think that'll be the case again tomorrow. And then even on Friday, as those winds whip around to the northwest, it'll even be more so, I think, for beachgoers and folks trying to ride the waves, which will be high on Friday. Well, here comes the front developing on Wednesday afternoon over the panhandle. Not much rain, but notice things start to pick up during the morning hours on Thursday. You'll start to see some intense thunderstorms developing there. So it would not be surprised to hear some rumble of thunder right before sunrise, and then continuing up about until noon for our southern portion of our viewing area, and then eventually clearing out of here, turning breezy and much cooler for the weekend. And this low pressure area is the one that will drive that front eventually moving through our area on late, looks like Wednesday night, Thursday morning. South winds for boaters tomorrow, still breezy out there. A moderate chop on the bays and inland waters. Tides upcoming on your screen. There they are. High tide at 7:02. Sunset should be a nice one. 7:49 tonight. Mostly fair, warm and breezy. 70 for a low. And tomorrow, another nice warm and breezy day. High of 85. South winds 15 to 20. The extended forecast. Morning showers on Thursday. Clearing, turning cooler. Keep the jackets ready. 50s, low 50s on both Friday morning, Saturday morning, and Sunday morning. Could even see some upper 40s well inland. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Some drivers in Sarasota County are learning how to navigate the diverging diamond interchange. The Florida Department of Transportation is hosting a workshop on the upcoming traffic pattern change. FDOT is making improvements by adding an auxiliary lane on I-75 northbound and southbound, adding new bridges over University Parkway, and widening several bridges. The construction is scheduled to be complete ahead of the 2017 World Rowing Championships in September.
Hi, I'm Linda Carson. Coming up, we'll introduce you to an amazing Suncoast woman who quilts, paints, draws, writes, animates, and she searches for fossils.
This week, the fate of his Supreme Court pick and his biggest foreign policy test yet. As Russia is rattled by terror, it's a pivotal week at the White House. Why the stakes couldn't be higher. This is Where America Turns. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir.
Our dad is an incredible man, a great father, and a hero who served his country well. He worked hard to take care of us. Now we take care of Dad with the help of Granny Nannies.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner.
After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
The official salon of ABC7. Cutting Loose Salon.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Florida Studio Theater presents Piano Men, held over by popular demand through April 2nd. Attributing the virtuosity and elegance of the Piano Man, Piano Men features the works of 20th century's best pianists and songwriters. Featuring songs from music icons such as Billy Joel, Stevie Wonder, and Barry Manilow, don't miss what critics are saying is energetic, with fun and playful performances that evokes hits of an era. Piano Men is held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
Granny Nannies. We've been making house calls for over 25 years. When you need home health care services, there really is no place like home.
Grandma! A helping hand and a gentle heart.
Here on the Suncoast, we get transplants from all over the world.
One amazing woman who moved here was one of the first animators in the country. ABC7's Linda Carson has her story.
Tanya Weinberger has had an amazing career, and here on the Suncoast, she is having a major impact on everything from art galleries to the great outdoors.
Tanya was born in Hollywood, and as a kid set her sights on becoming an animator.
I wanted to work for Walt Disney, and of course I saw his great classics. I was very much inspired by Pinocchio, and it was not just the animation, but the song, There Are No Strings on Me.
So after high school?
And I went directly to Walt Disney Studios and knocked on the door in Burbank, and I was 17 at the time. And they said I could come back and bring some drawings. And I did the next day, and they hired me into the ink and paint department.
And while working, she also attended Chenard Art Institute and worked for Academy Award-winning filmmaker Saul Bass. Then her art school teacher offered her an amazing job in New York.
And he said, we have an art magazine, and we need some people. You want to come work for us? And I said, sure. And Art Forum became one of the most important art magazines in the world. And I worked for them. I was the art director for 17 years.
She was one of the first to use computers for animation.
But back then, I really wowed people, and I won a lot of awards.
She made a movie called Monster and sent it to a film festival in Prague.
There were 3 people from the Museum of Modern Art in the audience, and they called me up and said, we'd like to show it at MoMA in New York City. And that was the biggest thrill of my life.
One of her animated films was featured on HBO. She worked for Kodak, and she's been married twice.
And then I married my second husband, and we moved to Vermont and became sheep farmers for 10 years.
Then she moved to Sarasota and brought with her some of the movies she'd created over the years.
And I decided to convert my movies into children's books.
She also paints, writes screenplays, creates jewelry, quilts, and does photography. And her life lesson?
I was always a risk taker, and I paid attention to my own tastes, and I never tried to make art to please somebody else.
This amazing lady has accomplished so many things, but she's not through yet. She has lots of big plans in the work. One is to make her book Cosmic Strings into a movie. Linda Carson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Linda. She's done a lot, and she's very artistic.
Very much so. Well, our weather, I'm looking forward to that weekend.
So am I, to be honest with you. You know,
Me
a
too.
few days of wearing at least a jacket or sweater, at least going out and saying, you know, it feels kind of chilly
And
out.
not sweating. That's always
right.
good.
Yeah, it's
I
not,
keep bringing
the sweat
that up.
index is going to be really low.
Really low. That's good.
And one thing it will do is that we will see the possibility of some fire danger, high fire danger throughout the Friday and Saturday because of the low humidity.
Right. Okay, Bob. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. World News Tonight with David Muir is next.
And I'll see you tonight at 7.